Today we're going to talk about linear models and applications. Project 1 is due today, so just put that in your folder before you leave. And quiz 1 I'll give out at the end of class, and it'll be due on Wednesday, next class. Okay, let's skip the preview exercises for now. We'll just jump to the demo. And then if you finish all your activities, you can go back to the previews. All right, so today's section deals with models and applications, which many of you know as word problems. We'll call them story opportunities. Put a little positive spin on it. One of our goals today is to develop some strategies to help us solve these story opportunities in order to become more confident and competent problem solvers. So let's begin by looking at this bar graph that shows the average yearly earnings in the US for people with a college education by final degree earned. All right, so you can see that bachelor's degree salary tends to go up. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate, and then a professional degree, which would be like a medical degree or a law degree, something like that. All right, so here's my my story opportunity. The average yearly salary of an American whose final degree is a master's is $49,000 less than twice that of an American whose final degree is a bachelor's. Combined, two people with each of these educational attainments earn $116,000. We want to find the average salary of Americans with each of these final degrees. So where do you begin? I always begin by underlining the question. Yeah, you want to underline all the important stuff, but the very first thing I do is identify the question. Find the average salary of Americans with each of these final degrees. What degrees are they referring to in that sentence? Master's and bachelor's. Yes, I'm going to write that. MA and BA, right? So I always use the question to define my variable. Okay, so we're in an algebra class, so we're going to define a variable, and I use the question to do that. So I'm going to let x equal the average salary of A, and then you can just pick one, MA or BA. We'll do bachelor's, right? We'll just do a bachelor's. You could do either one. Pick one of the two. All right, so then I need to come up with some expression that represents the average salary of someone with a master's degree, right? So now I go back to my question and try to find out the relationship, right? So the average salary of an American whose final degree is a master's, that's what we're looking for, right? Final degree is a master's, is $49,000 less than twice that of someone who has a bachelor's degree. So how would I express 49,000 less than twice the bachelor's salary? Lex. 2x minus 49,000. Right? Double it. That's twice the salary of someone with a bachelor's, and then less 49,000. I'm just going to write everything in thousands. Just keep that in mind. So actually, I should not just keep it in mind. I should write it down. X is going to be the average salary of a BA in thousands of dollars. Same thing here. In thousands of dollars. All right, so now I want to try to write an equation. What equals what here? All right, so I've got 2 of my sentences have been underlined. I've used the information from the first sentence and the last sentence. So the last sentence was to define a variable. The second sentence let me write an expression for the other thing I'm interested in. Let's look at this middle sentence now. Maybe that will help. Combined, the 2 people earn $116,000. So how do I translate that to a mathematical equation? Sure, that sounds good, except that I don't have any y's. Yeah. Yeah. X plus 2x minus 49. Yeah. There is definitely a way to solve this problem where you let one of the unknowns be y and one be x, and you can solve it with 2 unknowns. I just hadn't set it up that way. Yeah. So if I add the salary of a bachelor's degree to the salary of a master's degree, I'm supposed to get $116,000. And then I solve this. X plus 2x is 3x. Add 49 to both sides, and I get 165. Divide by 3. And we get x is 55. Thank you. All right, so I've solved the equation, and then I should write a sentence explaining what my result means, right? So I go back and I say, oh yeah, X was the average salary of a bachelor's degree. So I'm going to write a sentence here. The average salary of a person with a bachelor's degree is $55,000. $55,000. And then also I was supposed to figure out the average salary of a person with a master's degree. So I'm going to write that down. How do I figure that out? Plug in 55 for X into what? You got it. This 2x minus 49 is the average salary for masters. So double it, you get 110,000 minus 49. What do you get? 61,000? Yeah. $61,000. Okay, so far? Okay. So this, I probably should have done it all on here. This just walks you through all of the steps that we just did. And now I'm going to have you try some word problems. This first one has to do with texting plans.